Okay, so let's unpack this. You know how we often treat learning a new skill like sitting in a driveway just refusing to put the car in drive until every single traffic light in town turns green?
Right. Yeah. Which obviously never happens.
Exactly. It's that classic procrastination trap. Waiting for the perfect time basically means tomorrow easily becomes next year. But for today's deep dive into our stack of research on the architecture of fluency, language as a catalyst for change, we're moving past that basic hurdle.
Definitely.
Our mission today is to explore how mastering a language isn't just about, memorizing vocabulary. It is a literal blueprint for cognitive transformation and unshakable confidence. To really grasp this, we need to look at fluency not like waiting for a green light, but like building a bridge.
Uh huh.
You don't wait for all the materials to arrive before pouring the foundation. You build it piece by piece, testing the load as you go.
What's fascinating here is that the source material immediately attacks the paralysis of that whole perfect time illusion.
Yeah.
The foundational step to fluency isn't a grammar rule, it's a cognitive shift.
Like a mindset thing.
Exactly. You have to actively override your brain's default bias of just saying, I can't. The text is super clear. Successful people start before they feel ready.
Wow, yeah.
Doing so forces the brain to adapt to a new linguistic environment rather than, passively preparing for it forever.
Right. But once you pour that foundation and actually start, how do you keep building without the whole thing just collapsing? Because here's where it gets really interesting.
The daily habits.
Yeah, the source provides this surprisingly accessible daily habit formula. It's just 10 minutes of active listening, 5 minutes of speaking, and learning a few new words. Just 15 minutes total. I mean, cramming for 5 hours on a Sunday seems like it'd be way more productive.
Oh, sure. It feels like you're doing more.
But that's basically like trying to water a plant with a fire hose once a week instead of giving it a little water every day.
That fire hose analogy is spot on. A massive Sunday session floods your working memory, but most of it just evaporates. That 15-minute daily limit actually leverages spaced repetition.
Wait, spaced repetition?
Yeah, and hippocampus memory consolidation. When you microdose language acquisition like that, your sleep cycles actually have time to consolidate those short daily inputs into long-term memory.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Small, consistent actions physically wire the neural pathways without triggering the cognitive fatigue that, always leads to burnout.
Well, and that 15-minute cap isn't just about preventing burnout, though. It actually forces you to make mistakes faster.
Oh, for sure.
Because you're rushing to squeeze in that 5 minutes of speaking, you stumble. You grab the wrong verb tense, which sounds incredibly frustrating, but neurologically, is that stumbling exactly what we want?
Yes, completely. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the text radically reframes those mistakes.
Yeah.
We aren't just talking about generic, mistakes are proof of learning platitudes.
Right, not just motivational poster stuff.
Exactly. We are looking at the neurological mechanism of error prediction. When your brain attempts to use a new word, makes an error, and is immediately corrected, it triggers a massive spike in neuroplasticity.
A massive spike. Really?
Yeah. The mistake literally signals the brain to rewire that specific pathway. You cannot bypass that messy phase because those errors are the exact mechanism building the fluency.
Okay, I have to push back a little here, though. I completely buy that making errors builds neural pathways for speaking French or Mandarin, and maybe it makes you less self-conscious when ordering at a restaurant.
Sure.
But the source claims this provides a life transformation. How does memorizing Spanish vocabulary translate into, say, having the guts to ask for a promotion at work? That feels like a massive leap.
It does feel like a leap until you look at the psychology of generalized fear reduction. The text highlights that the cognitive load of navigating a second language actually breaks down our native language biases.
And hesitations.
Precisely. When you repeatedly conquer the primal fear of sounding foolish in another language,
Uh-huh.
you forge a really deep-seated resilience. You are training your nervous system to decouple making a mistake from an existential threat.
Wow, okay.
That newly built confidence doesn't stay confined to vocabulary. It spills over into your professional life, your decision-making, just everywhere.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? It means you can let go of the need for a flawless accent or perfect grammar. You just need consistency.
Yep, consistency is key.
In fact, our source material challenges learners to use verbal affirmations to solidify this self-efficacy, suggesting phrases like, I can improve and I will never give up.
Which can feel a bit cheesy.
It can. And while shouting that in a mirror might feel a bit cliche, the core science holds up. Consciously vocalizing your capability reinforces that same neuroplasticity, shifting you out of self doubt and into action.
And this raises an important question to leave you with. If small, imperfect 15-minute daily habits in language learning can completely rewire your confidence and your future,
Uh huh.
what other seemingly impossible life goals are just 15 minutes a day away from being realized?